Call the meeting to order. Start with roll call.
Commissioner Allen,
Present.
Commissioner Norwood,
Here.
Commissioner Siragusa,
Here.
Commissioner Roberts. Here. Commissioner Stallings is absent. Commissioner Orr,
Here.
Mayor Pinkinen.
Here. Okay. Item number 2, invocation flag salute. The invocation tonight is by Mr. Michael Giuliano from Oakwood Christian Church, followed by flag salute with Commissioner Whitney Roberts.
Bow with me. Gracious Heavenly Father, thank you so very much for every person in this room that is here to discuss the governance of this great city. Lord, please bring wisdom to every person in this room, bring a calm spirit, and bring peaceful words. May we discuss in a manner that is kind and respectful and come to the best decisions for the best governance of the people in this city. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank you, Pastor. Thanks, Commissioner. Appreciate it. We have one new person here tonight that I'd like to introduce, or at least welcome to our group. Chief Master Sergeant David Brown is here serving as the ex officio member from Vance Air Force Base tonight for the first time, so welcome, sir. Item number 3, minutes. Item 3.1, consider approval of minutes of the rescheduled regular commission meeting of September 14th, 2021.
Move to approve. Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion, corrections? Seeing none, please cast your ballots. Motion carries 6-0. Thank you. Item number 4, awards presentations, proclamations, and organizational business. Item 4.1, present pet available for adoption at the city's animal welfare department. Who do we have here?
She's a wild one today. Hey, I'm Erica, and this is Pocket. Pocket is estimated to be about 9 weeks old. We believe that she is a little healer mix, so she won't get too big. She'll be good, maybe 30 to 40 pounds. She's very talkative in the car. She definitely had lots to say to me because I trapped her in a box. But otherwise, she is very sweet and obviously very friendly with everyone. So she will be available in a couple of days, and we do have quite a few other dogs as well. So if you're interested in adopting her, you can come on out. We'll be open from 10 to 6 during the week, and on the weekends from 12 to 3. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, item 4.2, present a proclamation declaring a yellow ribbon ceremony on Veterans Day. I'd like to read the proclamation. It reads as follows. Whereas 13 United States service members were killed by a terrorist attack on August 26, 2021 in Afghanistan, and hundreds of Americans and Afghan allies remain trapped in Taliban-controlled Afghanistan. And whereas the residents of the city of Enid have profound respect for United States servicemen and women and their families who have sacrificed and continue to sacrifice so much while defending our freedoms, and the residents of the city of Enid support every effort to bring our fellow Americans home and aid those Afghan allies who are currently living under a terrorist regime. And whereas the residents of the city of Enid desire to honor the families of the 13 fallen soldiers and to show our support for the safe return of hundreds of Americans and safety of our Afghan allies trapped in Afghanistan. And whereas over 40 years ago, Americans across the country showed their patriotism and their support for safe return of hostages trapped in Iran during the Iran hostage crisis by tying yellow ribbons around their trees. Now therefore, I, George C. Pankinen, Mayor of the City of Enid, Oklahoma, do hereby declare that there will be a yellow ribbon ceremony on this Veterans Day, November 11th, 2021, and that Park Street between Independence and Grand shall be closed to vehicular traffic in order to allow the tree located therein to be decorated with yellow ribbons, flags, and other patriotic decorations to show our support for our veterans as well as the Americans and Afghan allies trapped in Afghanistan. In witness whereof, I have hereunder set my hand and caused the seal of the city of Enid to be affixed this 21st day of September 2021. George C. Pankinen, Mayor of Enid. So we will make that part of our program for the Veterans Day Parade that we do every year. So look forward to everybody joining us there. All right. Item number 6, administration. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed public comments. We have one person that has requested an opportunity to talk for public comments. Anthony Martin with Forgotten Ministries. Sure.
How you doing, guys?
Good.
So I'm here standing in for Jeremiah. He couldn't be here tonight. He had a ball game with one of his kids, so hope I did well. But so the point of my coming here is to formally invite members of the council to come and do a tour of Forgotten Ministries. So I listed just the different ministries that we have, just so I don't leave one out. But so Mercy House, it's a emergency shelter, homeless shelter. Paradise Gardens, which is a community garden. The Kids Program, which ministers and teaches typically the Pacific Island children that are in the New View apartments next door. The Oasis Program, which I'm in charge of, it's a men's transitional program. We also have a lawn service that we do, and actually does a lot of outreach in the community. The Refuge at the Well, which is a women's program, similar to the Oasis. We're currently seeking a director for that. So, and the mobile clothing truck. So, actually tonight it's at the park behind St. Mary's. So, anyway, just would like to formally
Did you say a mobile what?
clothing truck.
Oh,
Yes,
okay,
sir.
yes, I understand. Yes,
Yeah.
you park over there at the Don Haskins and you give away clothing, is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Is there a meal provided sometimes with that, or are they used to? or-
Yeah, typically, I think it's Our Family Church is the church that typically brings the meal, but there's several churches that actually help, so I don't want to leave one of them out, but typically it's Our Family Church. But and that clothing truck too can be used in a lot of different places, and we always want to encourage anybody that's got any extra clothes to just bring them on by. The Forgotten Ministries is 1714 South 4th, and you can drop them off, call, make arrangements or whatever, but we welcome anybody to bring anything and we'll get it out. So, and that's all.
Okay. All right, thanks, and thanks for serving our community. Appreciate it. All right, item number 6, administration. 6.1, consider a resolution amending the 2021-2022 general fund budget by appropriating additional funds in the amount of $250,000 to increase the 2021-2022 appropriated amounts for the general fund transfers department, and amending the 2021-2022 capital improvement fund budget by appropriating additional funds in the amount of $250,000 to increase the 2021-2022 appropriated amounts for the capital improvement department.
Yes, Mayor and Commissioners, this is a companion item with 7.1, 7.2, along with some other work that's being done to prepare the public forum space. And those don't reach to the level of needing to come to you for approval. It's just some electrical work and some other things that have been done. This is a total of what we need to add to the budget to finish out the space so that it's ready to have the tree put up and do the Veterans Day and holiday celebration coming up. Funds are available in the general fund balance, and so we need the authorization to appropriate to general fund and then transfer it over to capital improvement fund where those improvements are being paid from.
Okay?
Move to approve.
Second.
So now.
Okay, motion approved, second. Now
what is this-
discussion?
Can I? Yeah.
Yes.
So what is this covering, Aaron? Do we know? I mean, what part, do we have anything budgeted for this infrastructure
No.
deal down there before April? But what is this covering? What's this $250,000 covering?
This is covering the sidewalks, the road improvements and bollards, electrical work, the receiver well for the tree,
For what?
the well, the part in the street.
Yeah, okay. So I thought we already had a sidewalk. I thought we already extended a contract for the sidewalks down there, did we
We
not?
did. There was a change order done
Is this so-
previously, but
Is
the
this
budget
additional?
wasn't
Are these
amended
different
for
sidewalks,
that.
Aaron?
No, whenever that change order was brought before you, there was not a budget appropriation done for that. So now we're bringing it forward for those original contracts, the two that are on here tonight, and then the additional items for electrical and engineering.
So we're putting another $250,000.
250 is the total amount.
They what?
250,000 is the total amount. That's including the sidewalks that you've already,
That have already been done?
yes.
Oh, okay, I'm with you. Okay, I thought okay, I understood.
There were not budget appropriations specifically tied to that item. There were enough appropriations within the fund, which is what's required to award a contract. But this will tie those dollars to this specific project.
Okay, so this was not budgeted for, am I correct?
Correct?
Okay, and do we have the money?
Yes.
Okay,
In general fund reserves.
okay.
And that's due to the change order so that we could fulfill payment to the contractor, am I correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay, we've got a motion and a second to accept that. Please cast your ballots. Motion carries 6-0. Thank you. Item 6.2, consider a resolution creating a public forum and venue on Park Street between Independence and Grand. They may be used by residents through the special event permitting process or through a First Amendment use agreement, and stating the city's purposes and intent for the site.
Your, Mayor and Board of Commissioners, this resolution designates the site, talks about the legitimate governmental purposes for creating a First Amendment site, how it complements the activities that are taking place in the Enid Town Square, to include Light Up the Plains, First Fridays, the celebration of national and state holidays. And it also outlines how the space will be utilized going forward. A public forum space can be utilized for First Amendment purposes without getting a permit, without going through the special event process, without asking for a waiver from the police chief. Now, in general, however, if your activity is going to require a stage, tents, security, restroom facilities, you're going to be selling food, you're going to be selling items, you're going to have trash receptacles, you're going to need traffic help, then you need to utilize the special event process, or your event is not going to go well. But anticipating that there would be grassroots, very small, short demonstrations for different First Amendment topics. The next item does provide a very quick process where you could call the police department, and they would facilitate merely shutting down the street for an hour or two if for a short First Amendment activity. So we're trying to cover all bases, from huge 30 to 40 day First Amendment activities or commercial speech activities to the 1 hour event.
Okay. All right.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve second. Any discussion? Seeing none, please cast your ballots. Motion carries 6-0. Thank you. Item 6.3, consider an ordinance amending the Enid Municipal Code 2014, Title 5, Public Safety, Chapter 5, General Offenses, Article E, Offenses Against Public Peace and Order, Section 5-5E-3, obstructing streets and sidewalks, to provide for First Amendment expression at Park Street between Independent and Grand, providing for repealer, savings clause, severability, and codification.
This is a companion to the previous one.
It is.
I move to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, motion and a second?
I want to ask a question on it.
Yep.
When a permit is purchased, say as far as cleanup after an event, who's responsible for that? Is it the individual that purchases the permit, or is it going to be on the city of Enid to clean up the mess?
It depends on what the permit says. It depends on what's decided. Under the special permit process, Gerald can waive certain fees and that sort of thing. There are some fees attached, particularly for commercial events, but he can waive those if they support a municipal purpose. I would assume for First Amendment activities of a short nature, there wouldn't be that much cleaning that would be needed, and I don't think the chief or I was considering any cost for the First Amendment waiver. That was just to assist, to make it safer for the people.
I can tell you to answer your question, though, normally if the folks don't clean up after themselves, guess who gets to do it?
City of Enid.
And we just had a great Cherokee Strip parade, but I noticed when I walked off, all the folks that left their water bottles and all their other stuff, guess who gets to clean that up?
City employees.
Guess who should be cleaning that up?
The ones that put them down there.
So yes, hopefully people will be doing very good in that event, because that's a different kind of event, not just a parade. So anyway, I think that's the answer. City staff will end up doing it if somebody doesn't.
Just an unabashed promotion for this coming weekend. We'll be having the Fling at the Springs, and the city provides us the red roll-up, and there's a roll-off down there as well. And they drop them off in one location. We spread them out throughout the park, and throughout the day, we tell people if you have trash, pick it up, put it in those. And then we clear the park, and we put it, what people left, and then we pull them to the street, and then the trash department picks them up. But we're trying to be good stewards of the park, and the money those things go towards the parks. It is a free event, by the way, but that's this Saturday from like 3 o'clock until 10. Fireworks, bring your kiddies.
Where is the event again?
At Government Springs Park, at the Performing Arts Pavilion.
All right. All right.
So guys, I'm sorry, I'm still a little bit confused on this. So what's the purpose of this? What's the purpose of this? Are we trying to encourage people to go down to Park Street for the First Amendment, displays of First Amendment, or what?
Well, yes, we are. It's important for cities to have spaces where people can utilize it to express their First Amendment rights. And for example, we already have planned the the yellow ribbon ceremony with the tree that is going to be in that space. And then we also have the events that the Kyle Williams family is sponsoring. And in order for Kyle Williams' family to utilize that space, it needs to be a First Amendment public forum space. And we'd been thinking for a while that we needed additional spaces where the public could safely discuss First Amendment rights, concerns over, I don't know, lack of transparency perhaps, or possibly to show support for some of the fun activities that the city is starting. So there are if we're going to open it up for one, we open it up for all.
Okay, sure, I understand that. But I'm having a hard time, I don't understand what this limited use waiver
Oh,
is. I don't,
okay.
so,
That-
so last year, we had a couple gatherings down in front of this building, right?
Yes.
Okay, so are we trying, is the purpose of this to try and move those up to Park Street?
No,
or-
they could use this
Okay.
building too, and actually, the one that was at City Hall, they utilized a waiver as well. Actually, they don't have to. You can just kind of go in and do it, but if you go in and do it, you might have people not understand why you were doing it, and when people call my office, I always encourage them to let the police know so that the police know what your aims are, and it makes it easier and less likely to be misconstrued. But certainly, City Hall, parks, the square itself, going around the courthouse, all of those are traditional public forum sites. This was just a new site that we were spending quite a bit of money on to create.
Okay, no, so taking all those other spots that you mentioned, they need limited use waivers for those? Or are we just creating this specifically for the Park Avenue?
Park Avenue between Independence and Grand is the only space that actually carries actual traffic that would require a street be closed. Because it's actually the street
Okay.
itself that has been designated as a public forum. The street itself between the fire department and City Hall is not the public forum. It is the space in front of City Hall.
Okay.
So that's why the specific thing, because there would be cars if we don't put the bollards up.
Okay, you answered my question. Thanks, Carol.
Okay.
Thanks.
Very
Thank you very
Can I
much.
ask a question on that just directly? It doesn't have to be to you, Carol, it's Gerald. As far as, so you kind of. Okay. No,
Carol, it was your show.
yeah.
Fine, I guess.
Well, my question is, when we have an event that goes on, are we going to be responsible for setting up seating, or say it requires a stage or something like that? Is that on the city of Enid as well, or do those individuals supply their own?
Well, the individuals doing this provide things. Main Street is coordinating the event with the event center, the Stride Bank Center. And so just like we do other events like the ice rink last year, there's a whole lot of events going on down there. The Christmas tree event's the one that's added, and I think there's some special events during that time. And extra costs of large bleachers or sound systems or things like that will be borne by the group putting on the event.
Okay.
So if it's the parking lot and the infrastructure that's already there, those are, with our special events permit, we have a fee system based on
There's
what
an
they need.
application
Yeah.
process, and it covers each one of those things. And for some events, we may end up having a special use agreement if the scope of the event exceeds even our special event application form, which I'm thinking possibly the one that Kyle Williams' family is sponsoring, because of its length and all the different activities, it may be that we end up using a use agreement rather than just a permit. It would be an awfully long permit.
Okay. All right, thank you. Thank you, Gerald.
Okay. Had a motion and a second. Any other discussions? Oh,
Chief, did you see any issues with this, since you're the one that's issuing the waiver?
I will tell you that, I'm going to call them rallies that happened last year. We met with each one of those individuals to make sure that they were safe, provide trash cans, even bottled water. The requirement to issue a letter saying they've talked to us, I don't necessarily have a problem with. we want to make sure the rallies are safe, the people are safe, traffic flow is up to par, so I don't necessarily see a problem with it. All it's adding on to us is an actual letter. We haven't done that in the past, but I don't see where that's an issue.
We did for the one right here last year.
We issued a letter?
Yes.
I know we met with them. I didn't know about the letter, so
I
that's.
know we issued a letter because O'Rourke and I talked and I drafted the letter for him.
We issued a letter. I was not aware of that. My apologies.
Okay?
They're already doing it. We're just very proactive.
I understand. Okay, thank you.
All right. Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Seeing none, please cast your ballots. Motion carries 6-0. Thank you. Item number 7, consent agenda items.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, please cast your ballots. Motion carries 6-0. Thank you. Item number 8, recess to convene as the Enid Municipal Authority. Item number 9, all trustees of the Enid Municipal Authority rescheduled regular meeting are in attendance except Commissioner Stallings. Item number 10, the Enid Municipal Authority rescheduled regular meeting is now in session. Item number 10.1, consider awarding the purchase of a 2022 Peterbilt 520 Heil 28 40-yard half-pack eject front-load trash truck to United Engines, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and the amount of $285,500, and authorize the mayor to execute necessary documents.
Is that a new unit?
Yes,
Dave?
yes, sir.
But it's that you lift up the commercial units with and dump it in?
Yes,
It's not
sir.
the ones that pick up the household?
Yeah, it's one of the
Okay, so that's
bigger
why
ones.
it's cheaper.
Well, yeah.
Okay, I move to approve.
Second. So, I got a question again, sorry,
Yes, sir.
guys.
It's all right.
So, there's no detail in here about what this is costing. Is how much, I mean, it looks like the repairs to the old truck are getting out of control?
Essentially, we have a bunch of old trucks.
Okay.
And we've had a lot of issues from a maintenance standpoint. And if you've been looking at your approvals over the last, I guess, few meetings,
Yeah.
you've been seeing us trying to address that issue. We've had a situation over the last, I'd say, month where we haven't had enough trucks for all of our drivers to actually go out and pick up trash. We've had to send them home in some cases.
Okay. So, what, I just wish there was some more detail on here. Hey, this old one's costing us this much per year. A new one's going to cost this much. I like to compare those things, and I hate making decisions like this. I mean, this is, $285,000 we're spending on a truck, and it's hard to make those decisions when I don't have all the information I think I need.
I can get that to you, sir, if you need to.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind, I'd appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
And I guess it goes along with the same for our next item on the compactor. Again, I like to have those details on, hey, how much does this cost us? Do we really need this right now? Can we put this off a year? And you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir.
And so, was this budgeted? Is this budgeted? It was budgeted? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry, Aaron.
You're good. All this was gone over and analyzed with staff at the time we put the budget together. And so these were the highest priorities that came forward. These are all budgeted items that are on the agenda tonight for EMA.
Okay, I didn't see the budget, yes or no, and so I was curious. I didn't know if these items were all budgeted already. So are these always budgeted?
Yeah, these were part of the capital improvement plan for replacement of vehicles, sir.
Okay.
Right.
Yes.
All these items.
So engineering and everybody else had a look at it. And this actually goes to the next few items. Essentially, it's not like a truck that you use randomly. We're using these trucks all the time, and we're on the landfill or in the field, essentially beating them up every day. And the wear and tear on them has I'll be honest, my background was not trash, so I actually reached out to a few of my friends and some people in SWANA, the Solid Waste Association of North America, and I'm just asking, and I asked the question, are you guys doing this too? And the answer is, this isn't something that's unique to what we're doing in Enid. This is what we're seeing across the entire industry. I was talking to someone in Denton and someone in Dallas, and they're actually doing similar things as trying to replace or go to lease options so that they can save a little bit of the funds on the maintenance and operation of the vehicles.
Okay, cool, yeah, I get it. Like I said, I just want to make sure we're making a good decision. Hey, do we need it now? Is
Yes,
it
sir.
going to cost us more? Is it going to be down more than it's working? Things like that. So
Yeah.
thank you for answering my question.
And in the future, I'll just make sure that we make sure to put a little bit more financial backup for a cost comparison.
No problem.
Yeah.
Thanks for the info.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
for sure, I just put in there, it was part of the budget or not, and
Yeah.
that answers a lot of the questions, because it means
Yes.
we've already kind of made a decision on budget, so.
Yes.
Okay. We had a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, please cast your vote. Motion carries 6-0. Thank you. Item 10.2, consider approval of an agreement with Warren Cat, Enid, Oklahoma, for a 3-year lease of compactor for City of Enid landfill in the amount of $755,073.62, and authorize the mayor to execute necessary documents.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, please cast your ballot. Motion carries 6-0. Thank you. Item 10.3, consider approval of an agreement with Warren Cat, Enid, Oklahoma, for a 5-year lease of a D6 dozer for the City of Enid landfill in the amount of $425,029.38, and authorize the mayor to execute necessary documents.
Move to approve.
Second.
You guys are spending a lot of money tonight.
Yeah, I will say that just because of the situation with COVID and logistics, if we don't try and move on some of these, they actually might not be available. So that it's kind of urgent on some of these
Got
in
it.
some ways.
All right. Motion and a second. Any other discussion? Cast your ballot. Motion carries 6-0. Item 10.4, consider the sole source purchase of infrastructure and water meter components from Cure and Maine, LP, St. Louis, Missouri, for the period July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2022, in the amount not to exceed $500,000.
Scott?
Sure, I'll explain this a little bit. We, in our city, have Neptune water meters. We have an AMI system, and so Core and Main is the Neptune provider for all of that equipment. And what we are doing in the budget, we have $600,000 in the EMA budget to start a meter replacement program. And most of the meters in Enid, in 2009 and 2010, most of the meters that we now have in Enid were installed when we first started the program. And the AWWA recommends that you do these small meters, that you start replacing them between 7 and 10 years. And the warranty on those meters is actually good up through 20 years through the meter, through those meters.
So they recommend replacing them at 7 to 8, but they're good up to 20?
There's a warranty on, at 10 years, it starts to be prorated, and by the 20th year, there's this much warranty. But
How much are these things?
a typical 5/8 meter on the new ones that are under this contract is about $250 for a meter and the antenna and the radio the register that's connected to it. And so what we're trying to accomplish here is to piece out a meter replacement program without having to outsource contractors to do it, and to allow some flexibility in our budget. So this process to replace water meters throughout the city may take us 8 to 10 years or so, but we're doing it at the rate that we can do it ourselves. We don't need to spend extra money on contractors. So you can imagine $500,000. Mr. Gilbert, I will not do public math, but at $250 a meter, we're going to be going through 2,000 or so of these meters a year and installing them into the city.
Do these, that meter cost, do we pass that on to the water customers, or the city just take care of it? Okay.
We just take care of it. It's in an effort to not have to get to a point where we need to replace all the meters in Enid now. We need $8 million, so this is our effort to do it ourselves over a time period.
Thanks,
Scott,
Scott.
explain to them why we need to replace the meters, because they become less accurate after a long period of time, more than 20 years, right?
That's right. Whenever whenever we did our meter replacement program back in around 2010, like I said, our revenue went way up with the meters that we were using. What happens over time, the meters that are in the ground now are a positive displacement meter. And usually what happens is as water passes through that meter and erodes on it, it just becomes less accurate over time. And a customer may be using quite a bit less, quite a bit more water than we're billing because the meter is less accurate, and we're missing that revenue, and we're wondering, why, if we're pumping this water and only selling this, where's the difference? And we need to have accurate meters so that we can capture that.
So if it can work that way, are we actually cheating the customer? Is it possible for the meter to not?
We're actually cheating the customer to their benefit.
Benefit, okay.
So as the meter gets older, they will actually be billed less than they actually use.
Okay.
We had this issue in Denton where people would call up and complain, and we actually had the industry information to show that in some cases it could be a significant percentage in their favor. So when they were complaining about an old meter being inefficient, we would make the case that the inefficiency was actually hurting us from a revenue standpoint and not them from a billing standpoint.
Can I add one other thing?
Go ahead.
We use electronic equipment. We have 16 pieces of equipment throughout the city of Enid that read all these meters. They are 10 years old, and it's getting very hard to maintain this old system. These new meters are read by a brand new system. We just put out 10 collectors to read those. And so till we get every old meter out of the ground, we have to keep the old meter reading infrastructure.
Sure.
And 10 years on electronics is old, and we're going to be pushing them to almost 20 years.
Good deal. So are these new ones any better? Are we expecting any more time out of the new meters, or is it the same meter, or what? When you said new meters.
Collection devices.
The collection devices.
Wi-Fi hotspots kind of like to grab the data.
So what about the new meters? Are they the same meter? Or?
They're different. The meters that we have on the ground now, they're read by a different frequency, but the mechanics on the inside, as the water passes through, it spins a chamber that's read through a magnet. And that's called a positive displacement meter. The new meters that we're putting in are a Neptune Mach 10 meter, and they have no moving parts in them. So we expect to get more accuracy and a longer time frame on how long we expect them to last in between cycles.
So quality-wise, the new meters are better. Quality, would you say they're better?
Yes,
okay.
sir.
Thanks.
Yeah, we should theoretically see, it's going to take a while, but if you were to do a really hard displacement or financial assessment, you'll probably see a change in revenue as we change. But it would take a lot of detail looking at it, but you would be able to typically be able to see that.
From water revenue?
Yes, sir.
At the beginning, you explained that you had 600,000 in the account, and you're asking for us not to exceed 500,000?
Right, and the benefit of a blanket purchase order like this is so that as we're ordering these meters in increments of maybe we order $75,000 or $100,000 at a time, we don't have to continually come to you and approve for what's already in the budget here, and we know what we need to do maintenance-wise, and so it's in the budget, so it's easier for everyone if we can do a blanket purchase order like this.
Absolutely. I want to add also that the reason why we reserved part of that is there will be other things that come up throughout the year, like Dana's talking about
That's understandable,
new system.
But I was saying that we already budgeted 600,000.
We budgeted 600, we're only asking to
And we're
spend.
asking less than
Yes.
500,000, or the maximum of 500,000 for this.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, good discussion. Thank you. Entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? Okay, cast your ballots. Motion carries 6-0. Thank you. Item number 10.5, approval of claims in the amount of $109,485.65.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion? Okay, cast your ballots. Motion carries 6-0. Thank you. Item 11, adjourn to convene as the Enid Public Transportation Authority. Item number 12, all trustees of the Enid Public Transportation Authority rescheduled regular meeting are in attendance except Commissioner Stallings. Item number 13, Enid Municipal Transportation Authority rescheduled regular meeting is now in session. Item 13.1, Approval of claims in the amount of $1,681.94.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Please cast your ballots. Motion carries 6-0. Thank you. Item number 14, adjourn to reconvene as the Enid City Commission. Item number 15, executive session. Item 15.1, consider convening into executive session to confer on economic development proposals involving the redevelopment of an industrial property, a possible department store to be located within the former Kmart building, a possible theater to be located within the district development, and an agreement to the development and reimbursement agreement with Love's Country Store, and convene into rescheduled regular session to take any necessary action. Motion to move into executive session.
Going to move into executive session.
Okay. Motion and a second. All in favor, please cast your ballots. Motion carries 6-0. Thank you.